this year I know I've done the most money I've ever made, like in a business ever, because this wasn't even my first business. I've had other businesses before, never went anywhere. So this business to take off this fast, and this is like literally my second year with you guys, a full tax season.
Full time.
It was like life changing.
Welcome to the Service Bureau Accelerator podcast, where we help tax professionals start and scale a successful service bureau. So guys, Shalimar, thanks for jumping in and having a quick call with us. Like I said before, right? We're just gonna have a conversation, so don't worry too much about your answers or anything. But if you wanna kick off and just kind of start with sharing a little bit about like your journey so far, right? I know like you kind of started, you were you're kind of doing like the tax thing kind of like part-time-ish. And then you heard about being a service bureau, you heard about selling software, you're like, that sounds way better. And then you jumped into that and you just been absolutely crushing it. So maybe you want to just kind of share a little bit about like how you got started, how you found out about a service bureau and where that kind of led you to where you are today.
Yes. So even though I've always knew taxes, I've already did taxes like since I was 18, but I was doing it for free. It was just like I was a tax lady in my little family, doing it for sisters, brothers, but I didn't do it professionally because I worked in corporate America. And so eventually I just got tired. And so that's when I decided to get into the tax industry professionally. And that was in 2021. But I wouldn't say it. I would say I was getting paid part-time wages, even though that was like a full-time thing. It just wasn't kicking it off for me, I guess. And so I was under two other mentors before I decided to start teaching. That was in 2023, and I made the decision. I was like, I want to start teaching. Like I have a lot of knowledge, and so I did started seeing about service bureaus. I really didn't know anything about the full aspect of a service bureau, but that's when I started like doing some deep dive and of course in these groups, and I'm like, and I believe I came across you guys before I actually joined. And so I may have already been in like your pipeline, but at that time I couldn't afford it. So I was like, let me just keep looking, like this can't be real. Let me just look somewhere else. And so that's in 2023, because our anniversary is coming up. June 9th is when I actually joined you guys. And so I just made that decision, and that was like the best decision ever.
Was it you that when you joined, you shortly after came to the convention? Was that you?
No. So the first year I did not
No.
come to the
You
convention
skipped the
because I'm
convention.
like,
Yeah, okay.
I actually had to borrow money from mom. I know y'all say like, if y'all don't got the funds, you hang up the phone. Well, I'm glad you didn't hang up the phone on me because I had her, add some money. Like she had a credit card with a high limit. And I was like, well, they say you could do 2 payments, but I told them I can do it in 30 days. And that's what I did. And jumped in, and that's when I was like, I told her, I'm like, I'm gonna make this work. Like, this gotta work. Like, something's gotta work. And I told her, and I was like, I'll pay you back, but this is gonna work for me.
And it has so
And it
far.
has.
So. Definitely.
I think I remember last year at the last year's convention, you actually shared, I think you got an award, right?
No, I
And
didn't.
Yeah.
oh, just shy of the
Yeah, I
award.
was just
Yeah.
shy.
Just
but
shy of
that
the
gave
award.
me motivation.
But you did have you were not too far off from getting it, and it was your first year, so you were just under 500 products funded in your first year. And I think the story you shared was how you didn't have a successful tax office,
Yeah.
but you've kind of figured out the service bureau thing. If you want to elaborate on that.
Yeah, so I never, even though I had tax knowledge, it takes more than knowledge to get a whole bunch of clients in the tax industry. And me being the personality I have, I just didn't have that urge to go out and be like, I'm gonna do your taxes, that kind of thing. But I did see how it was easier for me to train people who were eager and did want to go out. And so that's what I did because my tax business never went anywhere. I've made the most in my service bureau than I've ever made doing taxes, like ever.
Yeah. And you're at You're more than doubled last year's
Yes,
numbers.
I
Like,
did.
huge.
So it it,
You
it
you did. She did a jump. She did a jump. She skipped a whole tier and went
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, because in the convention last year kind of like gave me motivation because I was so close. Like even though I spoke on my journey and how I was able to create a lot of ERO, well, get a lot of EROs to purchase my software the first year, which my goal was 10. I didn't expect it to be as many as it was, and so that kind of like gave me motivation. Like if I can get this far this fast, like in this amount of time with this information, then if I just keep trying, that next year I'm coming for my award. And yeah.
Awards plural,
Yeah.
because you've doubled and you hit another tier. So
So I was
you're
like,
gonna go home
I'm coming for it, and it just gave me that and it's like this year I know I've done the most money I've ever made, like in a business ever, because this wasn't even my first business. I've had other businesses before, never went anywhere. So this business to take off this fast, and this is like literally my second year with you guys, full like a full tax season.
Full time.
It was like life changing.
Did you pay your aunt back though?
Mom, yeah.
That was your mom. Okay, good.
with interest.
Yes.
With interest.
And so,
No,
I'm
so
sorry, but I just haven't had time to even take it all in. Like even this year, like
fast moving.
yeah,
It's a fast moving season.
I feel like I'm just still hungry, so I haven't had time to process a lot of things. I just continue to work. So
Yeah. No, for sure. And those are the things, like one of the obviously, like you know what you did to get to where you are. So now I know you've told me your goal and what you want to make. So you're on that path, right? You're on that path. So one of the things I will say is just keep doing what you're doing. But while you're doing those things, if you want to share a bit about what your strategy's been to grow, like what have you done, like whether it's in our training or like you put your own spin on it, like what has your process been to like, hey, I want to go and find clients? Because it is a whole process. So what was your marketing strategy essentially?
it was technically everything that you guys had in the training. When I first got in the service bureau, mind you, I didn't know anything about being a service bureau. So everything I learned was from you guys' training in the videos. And I would stay up that first year and I would just watch all the videos. Just watch, 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 watch. And I'm like, if this doesn't work, I did the cold calls, I did the cold emails. I was like, that ain't working. Okay, I have this group. Let me go do this organic marketing. I didn't have an ad spend budget. I think I spent $1,000 that whole year for ads. I was like, okay, don't have the money for this right now, so let me just do organic. And so that's what I did, was and just being consistent. And it's like once you get that motion going, it kind of like just continues. Like it may slow down a little bit, but then you just got to keep going for whatever worked to get to those people to enroll. And me, I did classes. I teach EROs. I knew the whole goal was to build my service bureau with EROs. So I wasn't focused on, I would say, PTIN holders. My goal was just EROs. And so that's why I launched an ERO training where it's like, it clearly states ERO. So, you have to have an even to get in here, you know.
That was your ERO University, if I remember
Yes,
right?
my
Something
ERO
like that?
University. So this
Yeah,
is my
I
second
remember.
year with my ERO University, and it's good. And I'm about to start recruiting for the class in August. So it's just, that's where I wanted to grow EROs. I didn't want the P10 training. Actually, I'm not even taking P10 holders anymore. Like I did that the first year, and I see how, the torn it is on both
It's
sides and how easier it is on this side. And, so I was like, I'm just going to stick to this. I'm going to stick to this one thing over here and grow it using this. And, they'll find someone, they'll find a house to go to, basically another ERO.
Yeah, it's funny that you say like the one thing, right? Because a lot of times people like, and you'll see it in the group, like people like talking, hey, I do this, and then you'll see the comments, oh, maybe I should try this, and it's like too many people lose focus on what's working for them, and they try a bunch of other shiny objects that may or may not be the best fit for them. So it's good that you're like, okay, hey, this is my lane, this is what I want to do, and just scale the shit out of it,
Yeah.
essentially.
Can you elaborate a little bit more, Shalimar, on that? Like what was the biggest thing you'd say that you kind of like noticed between like just working with prepares versus just working with EROs? Like what was it that kind of made you decide we're like, okay, I'm gonna go here? Do you want to kind of share a little bit on that?
Because it's like when because I did have prepares this year, but I told them like after this year, like this is it. because I do know that you have to review the returns. There's liability, like you have to run the payroll, like constantly, even though I pay on time, it's like hey, did you run? Like, I'm pretty sure you saw the notification from payroll. Like, it's just too much of that. And I'm looking on this other side and I see the service bureau side that I'm running. I'm like, this is more peaceful. I'm just dealing with EROs. It's like less hands-on. Like, it's more so make sure the bank app is done, make sure they have the logins. And then it's kind of like running on its own, especially during tax season. Besides, if they have like a tech problem, if I can't fix it, refer them to tech support. So I just seen how much less stress it was, over that side. And so I was like, well, why am I steady trying to beat a dead horse, basically trying to grow something that's just, and I'm already seeing this flourish over here. So I was like, let me just pick a side. And I just chose that side because that's been a side that has been growing for me, organically, naturally, like not forced. And I'm going to stick with something that's more aligned with me.
Yeah,
No,
and how
perfect.
you want to grow the business too, right? It's like
Hmm.
you said, it's peaceful in the tax season as a service bureau,
Yes.
right? It's like you get everyone else is doing the work, and you're just there to support when if they have a tech issue, you can jump in. But other than that, it's like it's hands off, and
Yes.
that's why I think a lot of people are attracted to the service bureau model as well, because they're wanting to kind of step away from the chaos of the tax season and
Hmm.
having to do the returns and the liability as well, right? With having prepares. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. Obviously, we're very familiar with why it's a great business model, but I always like to hear other people's words, right? Why they enjoy it. So awesome. Let's see. Is there anything else you want to share, like about like what is there any like really key takeaways or key things that you've learned in our program that's helped you really be able to go out and do this? Like, has it just kind of been like maybe community or just kind of seeing other people succeed? Is there specific things in the training? Like, has there been any like key takeaways that's really helped you kind of like push forward? Especially, I know we kind of talked a little bit earlier about the convention, right? That really helped kind of motivate you. But is there anything else you want to share on like key things that really helped you kind of get to the numbers you're at now? More than doubling, almost tripling your business over last year.
Yes, so so I still go in through the trainings like for certain things that I feel is necessary to me. I know the first year, I feel like you have to be disciplined because you had to, how you had the training structured at first. It was good for me because I literally went through it that way and I implemented that way. And that worked good for me. I know, as of now, like once you're out of that first year, then you get the, click around and go to where you need it. Like, I think I need marketing. I need a little motivation. Let me hear Ross talk. Like, so it's just like different things that for your second year that I felt like I didn't need as when my first year, I was very disciplined. I'm going to watch every video. I have a notebook that I still have. I'm taking notes. Like I'm going through the calls, like with your previous successful service bureaus. I'm watching their calls. I'm hearing like what they're saying, that worked for them. So I'm just like, getting ideas from all over the place. And I'm like, I gotta be you gotta stand out in an industry that may feel like it's a lot, but you have to find something that stands out. And that's why I did create like ERO University, because I see that your brand, you guys stand out with your colors, with your logos. Everybody's gonna know that's you guys. Like, so I wanted something that defines me as a person, as my company, and something that stood out versus hey, I got software for sale. I mean, that could be great, but I just wanted my own little identity in this service bureau industry.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Have that unique selling proposition, have that voice in the crowd, because there's no shortage of people selling software, right?
Yeah.
And like even now there's like more and more people selling service bureaus. It's like, yeah, even if you want to go into that side of the industry, it's like it's doable. It's just what's your value, what's your unique message and brand and everything that's going to make you stand out from the rest. So glad you took that to heart, because that's like where it's funny right now. So we had a call yesterday, and there's a lot of questions that came in the coaching call, and a lot of people they're just struggling to get clear, just even on their offer, like what are you selling in the first place. And so we have so many people send in their offers, and a lot of times it's like just the vanilla, like, well, here's my offer, it's just the software. It's like, okay, that's the starting point, right? But you are now the same voice as 99% of the service bureaus in the industry. So how do you become that 1%? And that's clearly what you've been able to do. So now you've got that figured out, right? Now it's like, okay, how do I now double again next year and
Yes.
double again the following year afterwards? And it just, like you said, that momentum just kind of builds on itself.
Yes, and I think that's why I haven't really just took it all in because I'm like, I'm still hungry, still that hunger, like I'm still working, I still like have a lot to do. I don't feel like I've done a lot in 2 years, but I feel like it's just so much more to do. And so that's why I'm just doing it like every day. I'm like, you have to keep at it because the minute you slow down, then everything else slows down. The money stop coming in, like, especially with service bureau fees, they slow down, like everything just gets to slow because you're slowing. And so this is the time, like I'm now running ads. I have been consistently running ads since May 2nd, just letting them go. I had like over 82 leads so far from one of my ads that's going right now, and just doing the callbacks, hey, sending the demos, following up, like just staying consistent, which I didn't do the first year because I couldn't afford to do it the first year. But now I see how it's even more peaceful. Like I run a group, but I don't really have to be in the group like how I used to be, like just constantly feeling like working it like a job, honestly.
Yeah.
And so now it's like I could just let them come to me. Hey, they book a call, let's get on the call, let's follow up. Like, it's more ease once you're taking the money and reinvesting back into your business.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've also got like the system to support
Yes.
you as well, right? Where it's like now you've got, okay, like marketing is running. You don't have to constantly go and kind of post and try to. I mean, I'm sure if you're doing some organic stuff as well, I would definitely
Yeah.
like
I
keep
do
doing that
both.
as well. Obviously, it worked. Yeah, it worked. It worked. So
Don't
don't stop doing
stop
that.
what's
Yeah,
working.
Yeah,
yeah. So I do
but now
both.
it's like you've got the framework though, right, from
Mhm.
before, where it's like, okay, now I understand, like now I know how to talk to people. I understand like what I'm selling. I understand what their problems are and how I can show them how I'm solving it. And now like with ads, it's like you're putting gasoline on the fire, right? It's like, all right, now let's really kick things off and get it moving even faster, and you can compound that effect. So yeah, that's sweet. Um uh, I was gonna have a question a little bit on like on the technology, but do you feel like you're at the point yet where you're gonna start looking at hiring team members and kind of starting to get into that part of scaling and growing the business?
I do feel like I can because I already have a VA, but she's strictly like design funnels, things of that sort. So I do want someone to help me with like when it's time for open enrollment, like for admin things, or even just with responding to emails because I run my business like it's just me right now as far as responding to emails, answering phone calls, like hey, got a text there, hey, let's hop on a Zoom, like it's just me. But I do want to have like a virtual assistant that can help with some admin work here and there to where it's not like if something goes with me, no emails are being responded to or no you know messages or things are just not getting done. They know how to also go in and add a location and add an office, like basic things that I know how to do, just train them to do some of those things that I know how to do.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, and that'll help that'll help the growth continue to scale even more.
Hmm.
I was gonna mention, I don't know if were you on the call yesterday?
Yes. Hmm.
I can't remember if you're okay, so that's one area I think if you're running ads and you've got a lot of leads coming in for calls and stuff, looking at an appointment setter would be a really, really good time. Like again, do that exercise of like looking at where your time's going, but I think bringing in an appointment setter, especially right now, because you're in sales season, right? So
Hmm.
it's like you could hire for that position, and I think that would allow you to have more time to follow up with the people you've talked with, have more time available on your calendar to take more sales calls, because then your appointment setters can funnel more calls on your calendar, right? So
Mm.
it'll help you really kind of scale the ads and everything like that a little bit more too.
Yes, because I
So I
got the
definitely
sites and I was
suggest
gonna go on there because I was like, I do need an appointment setter because I have so many leads that came in. My ads are doing well, and just to call them all back, and I know in the Tax Nitro I can run like a dialer, and I have to reset that up for this call because I'm like, wow, like these a lot of people really fast.
it's
That's the
working.
most. That's the area that everyone fucks up.
Hmm.
To put it bluntly,
Hmm.
we actually at the convention we showed like the
Yeah,
slides
like call the
on
leads.
lead follow up.
Yes.
Yeah, we showed the slides and we're like, well, this is why when people run ads, they find little success is because they get 100 leads and they made 50 phone calls.
Hmm.
All right, so it's like, yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So that's and and if depending on 82, right?
Mhm.
So one person can call that in what, 2 hours,
Yeah.
right? So
Mhm.
it's not a full time,
Mhm.
but if you get a very competent virtual assistant that can do those calls, you can also train them on the admin stuff and the email stuff. It could be one person that does that.
Mhm. Yeah, because 'cause I'm not gonna let my ads stop this time. I know you told me,
No.
last year for a
Yeah.
budget, so I'm sticking to the budget to let the ads just run until, like, November consistently. I may change locations here and there, but so far, if it's not broke, I'm not changing it right now because my cost per lead is probably, like, $8, and
Oh
it
yeah.
was
Keep
lower
that
than
shit
that. It
running.
was, like, $6, $7, so I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
Keep that
then
running.
really, like, I don't know how much you're spending on ads, but like realistically, if it's you probably only need a handful of like one, two, maybe three sales to cover your cost
Mhm.
anyway, right? Like, I don't know what the numbers are, but usually it's around that. So if you can get to that, and you may not get it month one, right? You've been running it since I think you said March, or was
May.
it May?
This
Or
month I
so
just
like
started it
usually
this month.
this month. Have you made any sales from it yet?
Um, I not any sales from it technically just yet. I have because I had a call yesterday. I have another call. Like I've been having calls, and a lot of people that I'm talking to, it's more so since the tax season just ended. It's like
Yeah,
I'm getting ready for
you're
next
gonna run
year.
into
I'm
that.
getting ready for next. So I'm gonna keep calling you until get on board.
Yeah, and it's
So
exactly. So a lot of the pipeline that you're building now is gonna start paying off, and like you said, you have a class starting in August,
yes.
right? So as those people start going, and in the fall, right, a lot of this pipeline is what that's for. But if you can get to the point where you're closing enough to break even on the marketing spend, you already have a budget for it anyway.
Mhm.
But that just makes it a no brainer.
Yes. Yeah, so that's the goal is to start getting them to actually buy instead of saying, "Oh, I'm just guessing around to." Because I'm wondering, did I run them too early? But I was like, "No, it's not too early because I did get all these leads." But I can just continue to call, and I'm just gonna let them run and just making sure I do need at some point an appointment setter to get them to make an appointment. When I can't just call back, making time to just call everybody back, and getting a VA for that.
Yeah, another
If
thing you may want to consider is since they're on your list, at a certain point, they're going to kind of forget who you are. So, what other content or value can you provide them to re-engage them later, um, and to keep you top of mind? So, part of that work that while your person's calling is email campaigns, like
Mhm.
coming up with that content, like other stuff that's not just hey, book a call with me,
Yes.
right?
So I have an email campaign. I believe, who helped me set this up? It had to have been Tamer. He helped me set up my email campaign, I believe last time, and last year, and I just reactivated. So it's like it's the automation they go to. And so once they come into my campaign, like through the ads, it automatically sends an email saying, "Hey, this is who I am, this is why I started this business, this is about me. I have a tax office myself, like this is what I do." And then over the next couple days, you're gonna learn more about me. And so that's what the following emails, but then it just
Nice.
kinda stops maybe, like, after a week or so.
Well, yeah, so that's the thing, right? At this point, you're gonna have to start adding
Mhm,
to that. So here's a couple of ideas. You have your ERO University.
mhm,
You can take like all the chapters of it and write an email, a small email about, oh, here's what's covered in day one of ERO University.
mhm.
Like, and just kind of make more content that way out of the stuff you already have.
Yes, mhm,
Yeah, that way, yeah, learning more about your product, learning more about what you do, giving them probably some value too in that, and like teaching them or like sharing a little bit about like what you teach and some strategies that they can take away. That'll yeah help the long term. Um, I had one other thing I was going to mention actually, and I just blanked as we were talking about that stuff. Um, what was it? Oh yeah, your sales calls. Do you have those recorded? Like, how are you doing them on Tax Nitro? Are you calling them like through with your phone, or how are you
so I do
having
through
those
my business
conversations?
cell phone. I did
Okay,
some of them
are
through,
those calls recorded?
no, it's not recorded.
Okay. If you can try and your next calls that you have, try to do them on like a recorded line, like either use Tax Nitro just to call them. That way you can like what I'd love for you to do is to take a sales call recording, send it in on a ticket, and I'm happy to sit down and kind of like listen to it because there may be some things that like in your conversation that maybe you're missing or is not getting picked up, which may be why people aren't buying. So I'd love to kind of listen to one or two calls and then give you some feedback on there where it's like, hey, let's help you lock in these deals and like, let's
Okay.
close them down right then and there on the phone. Or even maybe it's just like, hey, let's set up a second call that you can then do a little bit like a mini, like 5 slides where you can just kind of break down what the program is, because maybe they're just not quite understanding what it is. So if you can get a call recorded, send it in to me, and then I can actually listen to it and give you some feedback on there and help kind of dial in that closing process. That way it's just like, yeah, we want to get those sales coming in, and then
Okay.
it's like now it's free marketing, because you're just like Baldeep said, right? 1 or 2 sales and that pays for your ad budget.
Yes.
And now it's just like you're getting customers for free or even better at a profit.
Mhm.
And then it's like, all right, now we can really scale that. Now you have revenue coming in. Now you can bring in an appointment setter and a VA, right? And like really build up on that. So
And then,
yeah.
yeah, because you did actually make a comment that you like, send people demos and then follow up with them,
Mhm.
and that's a losing proposition too.
Mhm.
Just chasing people after demos. So you wanna firm up the follow up process of the sales, from initial call to what are the next steps,
Mhm.
what are the expectations, how are they wrapping up that call? Is it, oh yeah, let me send you a demo, and then not booking them on a follow-up, like, all right, cool, here's the next things we need to go after, you start playing with that, or hey, yeah, we could set you up with that, but how about we set it up where I walk you through it, and then I could show you all the other stuff in my university,
Okay.
right? Like, so there's ways you could adjust that
Yeah.
where it's like, hey, yeah, no problem, this is how we'll do it, and then at the end of that call I'll give you a link to the thing, right? So there's other ways, depending on how they're coming in and how they're funneling in, what the ad is and all that stuff, that could improve the sales process. Because a lot of times people think that changing the ad or the budget or the location, like you
Mhm.
mentioned, is going to fix certain things. And there was one of I'll introduce you to him. There's one of the people that'll be at the event this year. He was asking me, I've known him for years, and he just kept asking me, he's like, oh, so what should I do for ads and this and that? And I'm like, bro, you're running ads.
Mhm.
Your ads are fine. Your problem is your sales
Yeah.
process. Like everything after this is broken.
Mhm.
Like it's not broken like where you're making money, but you're leaking money everywhere here. So leaving those ads running and then fixing, how do I improve this process now, because they're all funneling in. Cool. I got to start fixing all these little things to start increasing that percentage. So we're, instead of closing 1 out of 20 leads, now I'm closing, 12 to 15 out of 20
Mhm.
leads. And obviously that's very high,
Yeah.
but you want to at least get that percentage up.
Yeah, because I just had a call with someone yesterday. She had booked the call through the ad, and I sent her the demo, which I feel like now I should have said, "Hey, we can get on a demo call. I can show you this software." That way, if she was ready to buy, I could have just sent her the link right away and allowed her to buy it.
And a lot of the times it's like, that's them asking for that is oh, how do I get off the phone? Ask them for
Mhm.
this, right? Like it's not general interest. It's all right, cool. Yes, send it to me. I'll take a look at it. And now you're kind of stuck fucking chasing them because you don't know, do they even look at it,
Well, yeah, because we
right?
do
Did you
have
go?
another call booked on Wednesday. That's like the follow-up call.
That's good.
So I made
Yep.
sure
Yeah,
I did book it before she got off the call. And
good.
if she shows up, it'll be a
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe do it like a little outreach on the Wednesday. Say, hey, if you could be by computer so I can hop on and share my
Hmm.
screen and show you a little bit extra stuff on the university package or whatever the fuck you're
Okay.
selling, right?
Yep. Yeah, I'll send you some info, Shelmar, after this call. I know I gotta find it, but there's a coaching call where we kind of like broke down the sales process, where it's like if we go from like a 1 step or maybe 2 step,
Hmm.
and like what that looks like. But so I'll send you that as well. But like I said, ultimately, if you can on your next call, if you can do it on a recorded line so that you have it, and then you can send it in to me on a ticket. That way I can listen, because there again, it could be there could be so many things. Like I have to listen to the call to kind of give some better structure and guidance on it. But if you can do that, then I can listen to it, give you some feedback, and then even help, like even give you an example of like how to transition from, okay, we had the first conversation where I'm learning about the prospect and understanding like what are they looking for, then how do I set up that second conversation to then do a screen share, do a little software demo, break down the package and show what's included, and actually get the close and get someone to sign up, right? So
Okay.
there's a lot of things that can kind of go into that, but I'll find a video and I'll send it to you. I'll probably just open a ticket for you and just like send you the link. So keep an eye out for that as
Okay.
well. Cool. So let's we always like end up like midway through. We always start like going into like, hey, what are you doing? Let's talk strategy and help you out. But I want to just jump back to a couple more questions that we have for you. Uh I know you've talked a lot about the training, so I won't probably go into that too much. But another thing, when people are joining our program, um one thing that's very common with a lot of EROs is they struggle to get support when they need it. And I don't mean like tech support on the software, but like support actually, operating their business, growing their business. And so as the Service Bureau Accelerator, that's something that we like really work a lot towards. Could you talk a little bit on your experience getting support from us, getting support from the team, whether it's helping you like set up clients in the software, helping you with strategy? Could you just kind of share a little bit about your experience with our support team with Service Bureau Accelerator?
The support team is really good, very responsive. I literally just put in a ticket today and they already moved over because I had one of my EROs become service bureaus. And of course, her Ethan was locked because it was under me, and they were pretty quick with just moving her over, getting it set up. So support has always been very responsive, very good. And that's really a key factor, because before joining a service bureau, just being under an ERO and they're taking a long time. And that's why with me, like I do the same thing. I kind of like mimic the personality. I wouldn't say the personality, but the vibe that you give in your business. Like this is like your business, the way it is, how it grows, because you guys are making sure that we're not just left out in the clouds waiting for a response a week later and I still haven't heard and I'm still, we're stuck. You guys are very responsive. Like everything is like on point. And so that's why I try to make sure that I do too, for my offices, that I'm, if I have a good example in front of me, then I'm also leading by example for others. And that I'm just, if they have something, they can't say, oh, I didn't talk to her about 2 days ago and she still haven't responded, or 3 days ago. I'm very responsive because that's just what I want to mimic for my offices too. And that's the support that I get from you guys. So it's kind of like a roll down.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the way to do it. Even on the call yesterday, someone's like, honestly, I just want to like copy what you guys are doing.
Yes.
I want to make create a ticketing platform and everything. I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, it's that's what we try to do in our program, is just like teach you. It's like we're not trying to like gatekeep anything or like work behind the curtains. It's like no, open, like here's how we do the business. Here's what we do, follow along, implement, do the same thing that we're doing. Because it's like, we know how to get those results, and just follow along with the blueprint. It's already there for you. Just like rinse and repeat. Right.
Yes.
So that's awesome. Now, curious, you don't have to, but I was curious to know, like, do you want to share a little bit of like revenue numbers as far as like where you were last year, and like kind of what you end up doing this year? Like, do you want to share some of those numbers? It's up to you. You don't have to.
Believe and this is with the service bureau fees, the add-on fees, and like sales, it was maybe like close to 50,000, like for that year, maybe. If that, I would, or maybe like 40 something thousand. I would say, I don't know the actual numbers, but I know for sure this year we'll be hitting $100,000 in my service bureau, just with the add-on fees that I'll be getting with the service bureau fees and with the sales from the software. So
There you go. 2 years,
Yeah.
6-figure service
yes.
bureau, right? Love it. Awesome.
And then
Congrats.
you jumped the line and you went into a higher tier. So there's another 5 figures there on the volume incentives.
But yeah.
Yes, because last year I didn't get the volume incentives, and so I told myself, I
Right.
was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make them pay me double.
Yeah. It's going to be like closer to triple,
Yeah.
really, because of the volume and the bump.
Since I
It's going to
missed
be
it,
triple what you
I
would have.
had to come back with the
Yeah.
vengeance. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like your ad spend right there. Like just
Yeah.
that rebate
Yes.
bonus is like, you can just, that's your ad spend right there, done, taken care of. Yeah. Awesome. So last question for you here, Shalimar, unless I don't bother you, but was there anything else you wanted to ask before? Okay, cool. So last question for you is like, if someone is looking at becoming a service bureau and they're looking at a few programs, because I know there's more and more programs out there these days.
Well,
what
programs is giving them giving some too much credit. But
okay, sure. Options to become a service bureau. There's a lot of options out there today. What would you say to someone who's kind of maybe looking around, maybe they're looking at some other options, comparing it up to the Service Bureau Accelerator? What would you kind of say to someone who's kind of in that scenario?
I would definitely recommend joining SBA because, I mean, look at me 2 years later. I wouldn't have imagined this as being literally my life, my business. I wouldn't have wanted it so bad, but I couldn't have really saw this as reality 2 years ago. And so I would tell them, but they're going to have to do the work. It's not just joining because, you know, you guys are this great service bureau and you have this great company, and then you guys are going to just do all the work for them. They're going to have to work, but if they're willing to do so, this is like the best start. Like, this is where to go, because it's life changing, honestly. So it's like, if they're ready and they're ready to work, this will be the way to go. I don't see why I don't know about all the others, but this is the only place you need to be.
Yeah, you're kind of lucky because you never had to look at other things or like have other bad scenarios happen to you to then finally like find the light,
Yeah.
as some people call it. So yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, appreciate the feedback on that as well. Awesome.
Right. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks for being here, Shalimar. Ross, we'll catch you on the next one.
Okay, thank you.